Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life.
Hats.
I'm not ready.
Too bad. How you going?
I'm okay.
Facing the mic.
Well,
facing
I would
the mic.
be out. Listen, if you waited until I was ready, I would be ready, and then I would be facing the mic, and we wouldn't have to go through this. Face the mic, everything.
But you like. Oh, and sorry, you like. I like surprising you.
I know. It's very surprising.
It is for you.
Yeah, I know. It's annoying. How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
This
is okay. So this is our first Hats and Brendo in what feels like ages.
I know we've been doing a lot of. Well, we missed a week, and then you were away for a week, and then we have done a lot of interviews, which have been really good.
Yeah, and we actually had one lined up for tonight, but
did we? Yeah, we did. So
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah. But that
I was going to say, damn it, did we not call?
Yeah, that's
Have you
hopefully next week.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. Yeah, what's going on? What are we talking about?
Show me your list of things that you brought
I got
to
nothing.
discuss.
Believe it or not.
Jeez. Well, first of all, because we haven't done, and this is kind of because we haven't. What am I trying to say? I like doing interviews. Interviews are good, and they're probably more value to listeners.
Yeah, I
definitely more value to listeners.
Yes.
Right? But I also like doing this. It's more sort of laid back, and we just sort of ramble and whatever. And it's not like you don't feel like you're having to do the other person justice. You're like,
yes.
you're coming anyway. We're going to drink anyway. It's not a problem, right? But because we haven't done any of these ones, what we haven't done because it's not appropriate, but is to mention anybody who is boosting and streaming via Podcast 2.0. Yeah, and we should have done that before. Apologies, we haven't done that before. Thank you to everybody who has chosen to do that. We don't expect it, but we do appreciate it. And we haven't even spoken about this, but what I would like to say is anybody, any of those sats, they will never leave Bitcoin. We might hodl them, we might spend them on something that somebody who's willing to accept Bitcoin. Well, we might give them away to somebody who needs Bitcoin, but they will never go. Those sats from us are never going to touch fiat again.
Yes,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
what it should be.
Fair. Well, the only thing I thought is like if we're boosted, or get boosts like enough, could we then put it back into the pod by buying a mic or buying a this, or you know what I mean?
Oh, maybe I guess.
But that's a bit fiaty. Fee.
Is it? I don't. Yeah, I didn't thought about that. But
is
that
like
also then putting back into maybe making this a bit better for people?
Definitely.
I don't know.
Definitely.
But yeah, I just still wanted to. We appreciate it and thank you. But we'll try our best not to. Certainly, we'll definitely try our best not to put it anywhere near fiat again because we've got nothing.
No, let's not.
Yeah, let's
make that decision. Yeah,
so
definitely.
If anybody's out there that's selling products for Bitcoin, we might support you. We might spend some of them on those. But we're not going to go. Let's say somebody's selling. If there's a choice between a pair of shoes in a Bitcoin shoe shop and a non-Bitcoin shoe shop, we're going to Bitcoin shoe shop.
Yes, 100%. That's great.
Right. Okay. What we haven't mentioned before, and the ones. So there's the difference between the boost and the streaming. A boost is essentially just a comment that somebody wants to make. They don't have to make a comment. They can just boost us some sats. That's great. But if they want to make a comment, some of them have been quite funny. But the streams are when people are just like sending you 1 sat a minute or 2 sats a minute or something like that, which is
they're quite. I actually like them. They're a bit more exciting. I think someone's going, "Yep, they're worth this."
Yeah, I mean it's I didn't know if it would happen at all. So it's and not that it's huge or anything, but it's I mean I look at a sat as $1. That's how I see sats. That's how I look at it, and that's how I see it. So if any now they're going to completely stop, right? But because oh my god, it's $1. Yeah, so that's the value I feel like I'm getting from that person, which is incredible. So
100%.
Anyway, I'll shut up about it, but I wanted to see it.
Yeah. All right, can I start with tweet of the week?
Oh, really? You have a tweet of the week?
No, not really. It's just mine.
Yeah, it's yours. Yeah, go on. Why not? Let's start with one of your tweets.
I feel like you do it all the time.
No, it's fine. We said this before. Like when you're talking about a tweet, it's not because you're like, oh, go look at my Twitter feed. It's like here's a point that is in how many characters, and then we can discuss it and make it a bit white, and then try and explore it a bit further, and then leave it alone.
Yeah. So I literally thought about this just before I tweeted it. I thought, well, fuck, it fully does feel like this. And I said, holding Bitcoin feels like holding the sports almanac from Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's a good tweet.
But you can't.
No, it's a good tweet. But
it does.
I know, you're completely right. Completely right, and it's a good tweet. My only but is I wasn't a Back to the Future fan. I don't really understand the reference. I get, like, I've seen Back to the Future, but it's a long time ago, and I don't really get the reference. And I'm sure a lot of people do.
So back. Okay, do you want me to
like,
explain?
I got it from the picture.
Do you want me to explain though?
Go on, yeah.
So
yes.
Back
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Well, it sounds like I need to. Back to the Future 2. Marty finds sports in the future.
Results from sports.
Results from sports. He finds them in the future, and he goes, "Holy fuck! I can bet on every game
because you know the result of everything.
I know the result. You know what I mean? And then that ends up in the hands of Biff, and Biff becomes Donald Trump. You know what I mean? Like the super rich casino guy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but that's not the point I was making. The point was, it feels like, and being on Bitcoin Twitter and seeing, and I've said this before, like everything
just keeps coming true.
Everything that people say is going to happen has happened.
Yeah.
And it just feels like Bitcoin is so fucking inevitable.
Yes.
And
it's like knowing the result of the sports event, and
exactly.
and you are just betting on it and winning every time.
Yeah.
Great
tweet, Brendan.
It is a good tweet. I liked it, but
stop saying but. I liked it, but.
No, well, let's be 100% honest. You then sent it to me via DM, and then said, retweet that and to see how much influence you really have.
Oh, that was tongue in cheek.
Of course, I know that, but also tongue in cheek. I did then retweet it just to prove that I have none.
Yeah. I think our audio is a bit loud.
Was it blown out?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it is. All right, hang on. I'm going to tweak it a bit.
Okay.
Say something like you can.
Say something like I can.
Yeah.
Are you measuring audio right now, or are you?
No. I just know you can talk. I know you can talk. So go.
Okay. Yeah, it's what I find interesting about you.
Yeah.
What happened with my voice there?
Nothing. Go.
Is that you seem not to have been phased at all. Because you're right in the sense that things keep coming true, but they don't necessarily come true immediately, right? It might be you might be waiting a few months, or maybe waiting a year, and you haven't really been phased by it not coming true immediately. I think that's what gets a lot of people when they first get into Bitcoin. It's like, oh my god, this should happen today, because all of a sudden, you've understood it, right?
Yeah.
But just because you understood it doesn't mean anybody else at that moment in time has just understood it as well, right? It's a process.
Yep.
So a lot of things should happen. A lot of Bitcoiners can look at it and go, yeah, all these 100 things should happen, and they probably will happen, but they just don't happen immediately because we have to wait the time for people to learn and to feed through. But you don't really seem to be phased by. Yeah. Because the biggest effect is price. So if you have a run up and then you fall back down, there it's again. The whatever it is in Australian dollars, where do we get to? 90 odd, 93 or something?
Yeah.
And I don't even know where are we today, like 33 maybe something.
Yep.
But that's not bothering you, as far as I can tell, at all. Is that right? Or you just cover it pretty well?
No. Honestly, I think you're right. And that again, and I don't know if you're setting me up to piss in your pocket, but
no, that wasn't. Go on.
It does. I think it does come from, I guess, your real hold handing for me.
We are holding hands as we speak.
Down the rabbit hole.
Think of that.
No, but honestly, I think that has really helped me. But at the same time, I've thought about this. At the same time, I've never, and this is just a fiat mindset. I've never really held or valued money. Mm-hmm. In any real way, you know what I mean? So, because I'm always thinking I'm going to earn more. I'm also in a fairly fortunate position that
you earn decent money, and it's a reliable income, right?
Yeah. I'm not. I don't own a yacht or any fucking thing.
No, but
like
you're
that, you know what
perfectly comfortable.
Exactly. So if Bitcoin went to zero tomorrow, I'll be shattered. but I can still live. I can still eat. I can still buy $10 iceberg lettuces. You know what I mean?
You?
No, well, I wouldn't.
Billy Big
but,
Balls.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I mean, if I, and again, maybe it comes down to my, it's not a lack of conviction, but I still have dry powder, in a way. You know what I mean? I'm still paying. I'm still paying bills. I'm still, buying the groceries. I'm doing all that kind of stuff, and I absolutely admit I could be way better and stack harder than I do. Yeah. But can't everybody? Except for the one guy who's probably single with one chair in his apartment.
Yeah. It's just somebody actually made that point to me today about and they were I don't think it was having a go at me particularly. It was just I can't remember the response, but it was how much of your personal wealth is in Bitcoin, that kind of a question.
Someone asked you that.
Not actually give me a number, not as how many dollars, but as a percentage. And I don't mind talking percentages.
That's a better question than how much Bitcoin have you got.
Yeah. Well, the stock answer to that is not enough, but more than you, right? Yeah. It's a good. I like that answer.
It is good.
But my answer to that is I'm somewhere between I'd say 70 and 90% total wealth into Bitcoin. And that varies. That really just varies with the price of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I stack a little bits, but
how the fuck do you? I don't see. I've never even calculated that. How do you calculate that?
Well, you'd have to look at all the money. You just have to look at your total wealth. You have to say, okay, well, what's my house worth? What's my car worth? What's my pension pot worth? What is my income? And how much am I sitting in Bitcoin? What's the total number? And then divide your Bitcoin by the total number.
And you're including everything.
I'm including everything.
Even. Can I say? Nope. No. Okay.
Yeah, I'm including everything.
The yacht.
Yeah, the yacht. Yeah, I'm including everything.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm impressed.
Did you not realize? Did you not realize?
No.
It's so okay. So, this is slightly interesting then. So,
I got fuck all in then. I think really, if I weigh up the value of my property, I don't know what
top
else.
of the hill. Remember the top of the hill?
Top of the hill. It's not worth that much, but it's worth.
Well, everybody's house is worth a fortune now, and it's not. Nobody's house is worth anything.
Exactly.
Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah,
it's worth the value of it as a home, right? That's what it's.
But then, what are you measuring your fiat? The fiat amount that you've put in over the last however many years.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you're measuring that? Yeah, not the value of your Bitcoin versus.
No, I'm measuring it against the value of my Bitcoin. So if so that's why it varies, because the Bitcoin the value of the Bitcoin varies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you're not. Let's say I put $10 in, right? Mm-hmm. And I've only ever put $10 in.
So hang on. Let's say you put $10 in.
Yep.
And you have $10 of fiat.
Yep.
That was not in.
And then Alan rocks up on the
island. Yeah, then Alan's back. Yeah. But then you're 50% in Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty straightforward numbers.
Yeah. But then if your $10 goes down, Bitcoin is worth $5.
Yep.
How does that work?
Well, you're now 33% in.
Okay.
Because your total wealth is $15 because you have 10 out and 5 in.
Okay, I'm just trying to clarify. I didn't know if you meant just your initial fiat.
No,
input.
I have never done those numbers. It'd be quite complicated to do it. Because obviously every buy is a different buy.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's where I thought you would.
No, so you'll find a lot of people that go, oh my God, I'm 92% in Bitcoin. And then that 92 drops down to 68 or something. And the reason it dropped to 68 is because Bitcoin tanked.
Yeah.
And they've still got some cash. See, I don't advocate for, not yet anyway, I don't advocate for being 100% in. Or, there's the lunatics that are 110% in. Good luck to you guys. I hope you're right. But I don't yet. And there are guys that are doing it, but it's dangerous. It depends. But then you go back to what you said before. It goes back to your circumstances. If you are a single 22-year-old guy with a decent job
and mum and dad to back you up if you need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a decent level of income. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can take huge risks. That guy can take huge risks.
Yeah.
And probably should take huge risk. That is the time in your life to take a huge risk.
Yes.
If you're going to do it, that's the only time that's the best time to do it.
100%.
If you're an 82-year-old grandpa with, 16 grandkids and you want to live for the next whatever, and that's not, you shouldn't be 100% in Bitcoin. That's mental. You should probably be like 15% in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm picking a number out of the sky, but like it's certainly not 100.
Yeah.
So everybody's number has to be. I mean, if you forget Bitcoin, if you went to a financial manager, is that the word I'm looking for? Financial advisor, and asked for advice in the fiat world, they would look at your circumstances, look at your income, look at what else you earn, what debt you had, what type of investments you're interested in, what level of risk you were prepared to take, all those things, right? And that's what they should do. Yeah. Unfortunately, the advice there is never going to be buy Bitcoin because they can't do that. You can't say that yet. But so maybe, essentially I'm more exposed to Bitcoin than you are.
Oh,
and I don't mean in terms of the value of what we have. I mean in terms of the.
You're calling me a big baller for buying fucking iceberg.
Yeah, you and your lettuce. You and your lettuce, yeah. So yeah, I'm more exposed, and maybe I'm more exposed than I should be. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like,
but again,
I've just stretched a bit too much.
Yeah, but it comes down to like, how comfortable are you? You know what I mean? Like your daughter's getting fed, clothed, schooled.
Yeah.
You're still married. That's something. Is it?
It's and exactly right. And you just have to be. Well, firstly, as you say, if we end up being completely wrong, I don't believe we are, but if we end up being it's not a 0% chance that we are. Is that right? That we could be wrong. It's more than zero. Or it's not. It's not 100% chance that we're right.
No, yes.
Okay, so it's not a 0% chance that we're wrong.
Yeah.
So that was the wrong way of saying it. But there are.
No, I mean, sorry. I think we are right, but it may not eventuate.
I mean, we are morally right.
Yes.
Because we're not leeching off anybody else. Everything we're doing is, we're the graft. It's the proof of work. Anybody that's buying Bitcoin right now is doing that with money they've earned some other way, right?
Yeah.
So they're putting their monetary value into this thing, and so that's where you get to the people deserve the price that they get, right? So, but it's not a 0% chance that we're wrong. So if you are, if you allow yourself to be overexposed. Well, in the good times that works out really, really well and you look like a genius. That's good. But on the bad times it doesn't. That's why there are good, solid Bitcoiners who in the last 6 months, 3 months, probably, whatever it is, or whatever since last October, I guess, who are right, but they're going to get wiped out if they haven't already been wiped out because they just allowed themselves to become overextended. Yeah. And that's horrible. Like, nobody wants to see that happening. But it's just about being restrained when you're like, well, I'm right, but I can't overcommit. And it's like, and then the worst, put it this way, you'd rather look at it and go, let's say you have 10 grand in the world, right? And you go 10 grand in Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes to the moon. You're a genius. Okay. But if you only put in, 7 of the 10, you've still done fine.
Yeah.
Right. And the feeling that you have for the 3 grand that you didn't put in Bitcoin, that's just a story. That's just a story going, oh, but what if? That's a but what if story. If I'd only just put an extra 3 grand in, I'd have been, and I knew I was right, why did I not back myself, right? But the flip side of that is if you do the 10 and you're wrong, the feeling of losing everything is way worse than the feeling of losing that 3 grand gain.
And still being fine.
And still being fine, exactly, right? Yeah. So, this is just, it's the boring way. It's not exciting to say it like this, but that's the truth. So, and sometimes people need to be wiped out to understand it. Yeah. So I guess so that's why with any new person, I always advocate for, buy some Bitcoin, little amounts regularly until you feel comfortable enough to put in a bit more. And because I think ultimately everybody's going to start to feel comfortable with putting in a bit more. And just to close that off, from my perspective anyway, you also then have to look at it on the other side of the equation, the fiat side of the equation, right? It's not well, put it this way, it's 100% chance, it is 100% chance that the value of your fiat over a long enough period of time is going to nothing, right?
100%.
Even if, it's happening.
Yeah.
It has to happen. Now, but it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen with the same volatility yet that Bitcoin has. But so you have to. It's all about probabilities. Like, what's the probability of us being right over here versus what is the probability of fiat failing tomorrow, next month, next year, next decade? And then you just have to weigh all that up and then make your own choice.
Yeah, totally. So, are you done? So on that, I've always been a guy, right?
You've always been a guy. This is going to get controversial. Yeah. We're going to get blocked.
I've always been a guy that I don't like being in debt, right? So if I've got to buy a washing machine or something, I don't know.
You buy cash. You save the money and
I buy it.
Yes.
I don't, the whole credit thing or the afterpay, all that bullshit. No. But then, and this is kudos to you again, right? Is that I don't know what it was, but a while back you're like, why did you not just let inflation do the work, right? And I'm like, and I thought about it. I'm like, fucking hell, he's right. Like, I hate having debt over my head, but I've gone and I tweeted about this about should I buy miners, should I get a battery, all this kind of stuff, right? So I'm now going down the route of getting a battery for the home because I've got 13 kilowatts of solar, which I've said before. And historically, I would have gone, I've got the cash, I want to buy the thing outright, then it's done and it's on the thing and then I'm done.
Yep.
But part of this particular government scheme is that they give you a interest-free loan for 10 years.
Okay.
For the battery. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take that because my monthly
1 year time.
Exactly.
If inflation's running at 5.6,
exactly.
that's like half the price over the 10-year lifetime of whatever it is.
I know. And it's funny how you just reframe it, you know what I mean? Conceptually.
Yes. So I was exactly you. I'm that guy too. I don't like debt at all. I hate things over. I hate even owing a friend money.
$10. Oh, totally.
Yeah, like.
Well, I hit you up about Crispy's bloody invoice.
Yes, same thing.
Hurry up,
right? And yeah. So I'm that guy too. But the debt thing is, what you're saying about the battery is exactly the right thing to do, only on the basis that the terms of that debt are fixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to buy, it doesn't matter what you're going to buy. Let's buy a car, a battery, doesn't matter.
Yes.
A house. It has to, if you take a fixed rate debt and take it for as long a period as you can and know that you can service that fixed rate debt, because over the period alone, inflation is going to, assuming you get a low rate on your fixed rate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I said to you when you're refinancing the house, right?
Yeah.
Is take it for as long as you can.
Yep.
Fix it for as long as you can.
Yep.
Because then, inflation will wipe out half the value of the debt. So,
yes.
The
nobody most people don't.
Well,
no one thinks that way
because the bank doesn't. Because most people go to the bank and say, "Well, I want a house." I'm not belittling people here, but maybe I am. I want a house. How much can I afford? They trust the person who should be trustworthy.
Yeah.
This person across the desk from you should be. You're their client. You're paying for their services. They should be trustworthy. But unfortunately, the incentive structure is not that.
They have sales targets
right.
and all that sort of shit.
So, but what what people will do is like, well, okay, Mr. Bank Manager, whoever you're talking to, or Mr. Salesman, how much can I afford? And they'll go through your circumstances and stuff, and they'll give you a number, and then you'll go, oh, I can afford whatever your number is, and you go start looking in that bracket for a house and you're like, oh, I want a little bit more. Is there any way I can stretch it just so I can have a little office or a little whatever it is that you want?
Yeah.
So then you take on just more debt than you can afford now today, without any consideration for what happens to that. If you're taking a variable rate or a partially variable rate mortgage, what happens if that goes up by 0.25, 0.51? It's if you take out if you're lucky enough to get in a 2% variable rate mortgage,
yeah,
when that if that goes up 0.25, no, I was going to say 0.5. That's a 25% increase in your interest payment, right?
Yeah.
25% or of a 0.5. So, I'm going.
But I mean, how many people are on variables than fixed?
God,
it would be so many.
Well, and actually, I don't know the numbers, but what's more concerning is I think anyway, is that people who are sort of half smart and went, I'm going to fix, right? Because it's low and I'm going to fix. And they did fix, but they fixed it for 2 years because the 2 year rate was better than the 5 year rate and the 10 year rate, right?
Yeah.
So they fixed for 2 years. And at the end of their 2 years, they're going to come back to the market having to roll over that loan and go, holy shit.
Yep.
And now have to refinance it. So or I can't refinance. I'm going to have to sell this house or why.
That's really resonating with me, Hats.
Really? But that's what's going to I mean,
yeah,
that's what's going to happen to people.
I know. You're right. Fuck.
But it's just, but it shouldn't be for some moron in a garage to tell you this. This is the bank that should be telling you this. That's the advice that you should have been given from the bank when you're taking out that product, and they don't.
No, but they also look to the RBA.
Well, it isn't their interest.
But
it's literally in their interest.
Exactly. But they also look to the RBA. Like in my experience, my broker's like, well, you know, the RBA says they're not going to increase interest rates until 2024. You might get another bite of the cherry, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and that's a big thing in Australia right now, the pushing of blame onto the RBA. And, which is true, they did make all these statements, but ultimately, like, that is just a so-called professional with slopey shoulders saying, not my fault.
Slopey shoulders?
Yeah, like, it's not my job type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
right.
I
thought you were like talking about his posture.
No, like is that what it's called? I think that's what
it's
that might be
like
a Scottishism.
I've never heard it. It's
anyway,
good.
Like, these, it's not my job, people, or it's not my, that wasn't, that was him, or those people that never take responsibility for anything. But ultimately, the only person with the responsibility is you, because you're the one that's taking on the debt. So you can blame the bank, or you can blame the bank's bank, but ultimately it's your fucking fault because you took on the debt.
That's right. It's you.
Yeah.
It's you.
Okay, great voice.
So
nothing.
I'm just taking the piss out of your accent. You should take the piss out of mine. Oh no, wait, you did. Last week or the week before, you're like, oh, Bonza.
Struth, you're blaming Galara.
Don't do that. That's painful. Any Aussie listening should be like, Hats.
Last night in Neighbours tonight, isn't it? Or tomorrow or something?
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, okay. Cultural end of an era.
Yeah, I don't care. Do you? I think you care more than me.
I did care. It was a big deal when I was a little kid and growing up in Scotland. And that was our
that
was our glimpse of the sunshine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm gonna go back to one of my tweets. Oh my god, I'm like full hat. I'm full hats mode. So I tweeted last week. There was a fella that came into the library, right, and he is an absolute regular. And I was helping him with some, I don't know, documents or scanning or something. He's like, I've got to move to, well, it's not too doxy, I've got to move to Tyranny. I'm like, oh, what's going on? He's like, oh, my rent, and he showed me the thing, my rent's going up this. It was like 30% or something stupid. He goes, I can't afford it. It's like, he was a shitty 1-bedroom rental.
Yep.
So he's got to move to somewhere, he doesn't want to, but he's got to move inland, south inland, to be able to afford to live.
Yeah.
Keep going. This week I've had a guy like who's 70-something who's coming out of retirement to go back to work. So he's got to do all these documents and stuff to get back into the workforce. Yep.
It's heartbreaking.
It's crazy.
But it's heartbreaking. Do you know the thing is, do you not find it's heartbreaking?
It's like, totally heartbreaking for these guys who, they're seeing their super just getting eroded away.
Yeah, and it's, they like, I mean, I don't know those individual circumstances, but like the big picture, they've done nothing wrong. Like, I mean, they might have made some poor choices, but
no, but they've worked 50 years of their career, all that kind of stuff, and they've got to go back to work at 70-something.
Yeah, there has to be, and that's all it is. There has to be a place that you can work, and then whatever money it is, I don't care if you're, whatever, rich or poor, it doesn't matter. Whatever money it is that you make, and whatever percentage of that it is that you can save, you have to be able to put that in a place that is just safe. That's it.
And holds its value.
It holds its value. And you know that whatever day, year later, 10 years later, you go back to get it, it's still there. It's not such a big ask, is it? And if that is your, if it's your what was the UK inflation number came out at 9.1, I think.
Yeah, I think
the
so.
Australians came out at 5.4, 5.6. And I'm not even looking, to be honest, at some of them, but like the Turkish number is obscene. There's nowhere that you can go back. Like if you're genuinely thinking long term, most, I don't know, certainly not me. I wasn't considering my retirement when I was, well, I'm still not. But like some people can start to consider retirement when they're 32 or something, right? They go, oh, well, because I'm going to be in this job for life, and what's my retirement plan going to be, and blah blah blah. So,
yep.
And those people probably tend to be the most kind of conservative, like not non-risk taking, I should say, people in life, and that's nothing wrong with that. And but those people are the most. They're not going to take big risks, so frankly, they don't deserve big rewards, but they certainly don't deserve to have the whole thing whipped from under them. Yeah. Right. And that's just, and it's when it's, when you can actually humanize it, like you've just done with those two guys. Yeah. That's not nice. And this is the start of this. Yeah.
But you know what though? I also wonder if I'm just more aware of it as well.
You'd be looking now for it, I guess.
Not looking for it, but just going, holy fuck. And then I attribute that to Fiat fuckery, you know what I mean? Whereas go back 3, 4, 5, well, however many years ago before, I just would have gone, oh, shit, eh?
Yeah, well, it was a big mistake.
Going back to work, oh, fuck, all right, you poor bastard.
Yeah, you must have spent it all in somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't think.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that couldn't be possible too. That guy who's gone back, retired guy, maybe he's just gambled away he could have gambled away his whole super, but likely that's not what it is, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But the problem is that the narrative, that's the the media will tell the easy story, right? Quite often the easy story is like, oh, bad decisions, that guy, because that doesn't fit their incentive structure either.
That's it. Do you know what I think we've done? So when we started and we were really loud, and I tweaked the audio and fixed the audio, I think we've also lowered our volume. Well, we were like, hey, it's Brendo, at the start, and now we're like, oh, it's a bit loud. So I fixed it, and now we're like, so anyway,
so somebody's sitting in the car, they're going, oh, these guys again. The best bit is I've got nothing to do with the audio.
Oh, no.
None of my responsibility.
Oh, I know, it's not good. I'm not happy with it.
Coming back on you, this one.
Yeah, anyway. What else you got?
So I was listening today to Breedlove and Robert Malone, the Dr. Robert Malone.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. He's, oh my God, it got...
Didn't he get banned off?
Oh, yeah, off everywhere.
Something, everything.
But the beginning is excellent. The end, he's not good on Bitcoin yet. You can see he's starting, but he's talking about the load of shitcoinery coming into his talking points. Anyway,
NFTs.
No, but he was talking about, what's that guy called, Brock Pierce, and anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't want to give any of these guys shouts out.
Sounds like a porn star.
Yeah, he looks like a bad one. But he made the point. They were talking about how many people actually want to be free, and he was saying like he would estimate that like sort of 10% of people actually like everybody say, if you asked everybody the question, everybody say, oh yeah, I want to be free, but when actually push comes to shove, like most people actually want somebody else to tell them what to do. Like be that your doctor or your lawyer or your your bank manager or whatever. Yeah, they don't actually want to take responsibility for it. But and I'm like, oh shit. I mean, when you're naturally such a sort of freedom, a person that cares about freedom,
alpha.
I know, such an alpha. Yeah. But if you're that person, you're like, well, how can that possibly be true? Because it doesn't fit your own thought process. And I'm like, oh my God, if that is true, like,
it's scary.
It's scary as shit. But I sort of only sort of hope with that is, oh, sorry, I was just going to say, if maybe that's true in the circumstances that we find ourselves in just now, but when you start to take people's freedoms away from them, how do they feel about it then?
Well, it's the whole. I think it was Jordan Peterson. I don't know if he was re-quoting somebody. He was talking about, I guess, the deprivation of liberties or whatever. Like governments or tyranny pushes and pushes and pushes until the people go no, and then they protest.
Yep.
and then they stop, but they don't go backwards. You know what I mean? So they stop, removing rights or whatever, and then they go, well, wait a bit.
They don't reinstate rights from before.
Exactly. And then they wait, and then they go, and then they push and push and push, and then people protest, and they stop, and then people go, oh, okay, good, they stopped. But they don't.
They don't actually push for it to return to where it was. Just
this kind of constant, degradation of freedom rights. Going to what you said though, what's that definition of being free? You know what I mean? Like 10% don't want to be free. Like, what does that mean?
Well, I don't know. I guess it means something different to everyone, doesn't it? Oh yeah, I do look super quiet on that now. What's happening there?
Yeah, speak up.
I guess it's different for everybody, is it? Like, you'll see people just now. There's sort of talk just now about private car ownership being maybe talked about being removed.
Oh, that was a Klaus.
Where was that?
Klaus Schwab thing, wasn't it?
Probably.
I literally scrolled past something about it.
So it'll be like an ESG. We want to save the planet. We all have to stop driving cars. You can frame it round about something that people care about. But for me, that's like, oh, could you get that past people? Like,
can't have your own car.
But then we all sat in our house for a year and a half because we weren't allowed out. So, like, you think people wouldn't take, you can have the car, I'll just have to sit in the house again. Like, where do people push? But where is the line that the masses push back? And so you're
well, it comes back to that whole thing with tyranny, in that they push back and then tyrannical bloody governments stop.
And they think they've won.
And then they go back and then they push further. There's no like, all right, and the governments aren't going to go, all right, you can have this back. The thing we took off you can totally have it back.
Well, the narrative in certainly in Australia, probably around the world, was when it was the lockdowns, it's like, oh well, getting the words wrong, but like we'll look forward to the days when we can return your freedoms to you. I'm like, fuck you.
Who said that?
That was what was coming out of like New South Wales Health and
right.
Like, I'm like, fuck you. You don't have any right to take my freedoms. Like, freedom isn't something you give.
Yeah.
Freedom is something that you have.
Yeah.
You can only take them away, and you're certainly not
giving them
back. Like, I'm having them. I'm taking them back. So people have to, take them back, I suppose. But I don't know where people. I don't know where the line is for. Because it's back to what you were saying before. The dancing man meme.
Yes.
Call it the one man dancing.
Yeah.
2 men dancing.
Yeah.
3 men dancing. Everybody dancing.
What does it take for I guess, people to stand up and...
It takes really strong individuals, who are prepared to be, like, your Snowdens or your Assanges of the world.
And then it takes the people who want to be told what to do. Going back to what you said.
Say again? I don't
well, you were like, some people just want to be told what to do.
Oh, yeah, but they're going to be sitting down. But
totally.
But eventually, they're like person number 62 to stand up and dance.
Yeah.
Because at that point, somebody is telling them what to do. It's just a new somebody. Right? Yeah. So that goes to the gradually and suddenly as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Fuck, I say that too much now. 100%.
That comes from podcasts. That definitely comes from listening to podcasts.
Hey, like I never used to. And
yeah,
I'm
like,
100%.
Yeah, I've started it too.
100%.
There's a few things.
I think
like
that's a bit of an Americanism.
I think I hate how that seeps in as well. Like, nothing against the Americans, like the Americans, but everybody should have their differences. It's the differences that's what we should be celebrating. Yeah, like the things that different people are good at.
But that's globalization and human nature, really, to assimilate.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I know, but like if I go to Italy, right? I'm not going to Italy to, like, I don't know, have an Australian barbecue. Right?
No.
I want to go to Italy and sit in their pasta restaurant and watch a guy chuck a pizza or whatever it is. I know it's a massive joke, but
it's a Mamma Mia.
Yeah, like Mario in the background. Yeah, sorry, Italy.
But that would have peaked.
Oh yeah,
the audio facts. Sorry, guys.
They some poor shits and they're sitting in their car. But you want to go to different places for different reasons, for their thing.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I don't know. 10% want to be free. What do you know what it did do? Because when the Scotland had, this is Scottish political, nobody cares. But when Scotland had their independence referendum, it was like 45 voted for. I know, but some people care. Hi, Haggis. Hi, Simon. When Scotland voted for it, was 45 for independence and 55 against it, which is just blows my mind that people are thinking like that. But it's more than 10.
Yeah.
So today I was going, woohoo, go us. Did I just peek as well, probably? So I met a person. I always start these stories with I met a person. It's quite hard to say how I met them. Yeah. But anyway, I met a person.
It's like you're like this constantly down in some dark alley.
Yeah. Well, maybe I am.
That's the gigolo.
Yeah. So I told them about Fountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, because we're talking. I was like, and then, because I was like, well, if you listen to podcasts, just why don't earn some sats? Like, just do exactly what you're doing, but just earn Bitcoin. And they're like, oh my god, that's amazing. Anyway, I saw them again. Probably, how long has that been since I told you that? 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Oh,
more.
Okay.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's at least 3 or 4.
Okay, that's good. And they told, and I was like, oh no. So and they said to me, oh yeah, I downloaded that thing, and I was like, oh, did you? I'd like totally not expected. And then I was like, so you made some sats? And she was like, 1,100 sats or something like that. And she was saying, well, what does it mean when I do the toggle between the sats and the dollars? Does that mean I have dollars? And it's like, well, firstly, I don't know if that's Aussie dollars or US dollars. You're gonna have to go into your settings and check.
I didn't even know that was.
No, I don't know either. But it's I think it's probably Aussie dollars just because it's where she downloaded it.
Yep.
But and I was like, no, that's just the today's dollar equivalent of the sats that you have. So you don't have both, you just have the sats.
Yeah.
But they're not yours. They're like third party. They're held with Fountain. So if you think of it like you've got money in, I don't know, Commonwealth Bank, it's your money, but it's in the bank.
Yeah.
So you can take that out into your own possession.
Yeah.
And she's like, what, you mean onto Blue? Yeah, no shit, man. I nearly pissed myself with excitement.
Did you tell her about Blue?
No. She's somehow managed to find Blue in like somebody with no knowledge of Bitcoin, somehow she's managed to find Blue. That's good, right? That she's managed to do that.
Wow. And
so, but she hadn't done anything with it. She downloaded the wallet, and I was like, well, I'll send you some Bitcoin. So she's like, well, yeah. I was like, yeah, this is the best day of my life. So I was like, did
you send her somewhere?
Yeah. So I sent her some. So she's like, oh my god, like, so how does that work? Anyway, what it proves to me is that it's Bitcoin has now got to, it can always get better. Like this, sorry, not Bitcoin. The services around Bitcoin can always get better and easier and better user interface and stuff. But if somebody with no knowledge 1 month ago, can start listening to podcasts on Fountain and earn some sats, and then at least download Blue, not having nothing, not sure what to do with it. But I sent her some pictures, like, oh well, I could do that. I was like, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just it's
that's
exciting.
Awesome. So next time you see her,
I was literally like, well, I cannot wait to see what you've done. Learn next time. Sorry, go
on. She will have downloaded them, withdrawn them from Fountain to Blue. You hope.
Yeah, I wished I'd said that. Well, what I said to her was just have a play around with with the sat. I mean, I didn't send her many sats,
of course.
But like, just have a play around with it. I don't care. You lose them, do whatever. Just have a play around, chuck them different directions, and move them back and forward between Fountain and Blue or something. But I would quite like to have her to have taken some sats from Fountain out into Blue.
Yeah, to see that.
Granted, Blue is a custodial Lightning wallet. It's not, it's not it's not your keys, not your Bitcoin, but you can't go there that quickly. I don't think.
No. And I think that's another conversation about, I guess, custodial services for normies.
Yeah,
most people will need custodial services.
Certainly to start with. Why does your thing say rather than MacBook?
Fucking docs.
Why is that docs?
Because that's part of my name, dude. Fucking shut up. Oh, how much?
Your name isn't. Is your name? Tell you what,
my name has in it.
Oh, really?
You're fucked, son.
All right. I'll take 2 doxes for that.
2? Bullshit. Well, you're taking 3 or 4, and then I added one to explain it to you.
Oh, that's your dogs.
No, bullshit. Oh, damn it. You've made me work.
Good. You can go beep that. So you've changed that. Sorry, I'm reading his screen right now. Did you change that?
It's a screensaver. No, it's been like that the entire time we've done the pod.
I've never noticed.
So I can just imagine this now. What does your screen say? Beep.
Yeah.
Because it's beep.
Again, go back to the dancing person. Oh, is it the same? Not quite. I think that one-on-one orange pilling is the best. Because there's no... Like, if it's just... Even if... Who would you say is the best... I mean, sailor, but like, who would be the best... Like, to normal people, who would be the best, like...
I don't think sailor is to normal.
No, not for normal people.
No.
But like... Who would you say?
Oh, shit.
Like a Brady or somebody like that?
That's a great question.
Well, you don't even know, frankly, because you don't know them personally.
No, but I love Preston, but even his vernacular is beyond a lot of people.
At the beginning, most people can get to there.
Yeah.
If they wanted.
Oh, look, you're not going to want me to say it, but McCormick. You're not going to want me to say it, but he is an entry point, and this is what I started with, right? When you first got me down the rabbit hole, I was Pomp and I was McCormick.
Okay.
Yeah?
Why? Because you just found them approachable.
I mean, Pomp, I don't know why. Because McCormick, I can still understand that people do resonate because I will still stand by the fact that I think he is a decent interviewer. He asks questions and people answer, and he will call out people for things that he doesn't understand necessarily, or he wants clarification on. So he's better at, I guess, getting an expansion of thoughts from people that you know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I know you don't want to hear that, Hats, but
no, I've got nothing to get.
But for normies, who would you say?
No, I was, yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, because you probably don't know the person. No, you certainly don't know the person as a person.
You can't throw breed love at them.
no.
You know?
But like as a, but my point was only going to be that, if it's me and if it's me and one other person across the table,
yes,
and they're prepared to listen.
Yes.
Like, if they're not prepared to listen, that's fine. They don't. Well, let's just have a beer and a dinner and whatever, carry on with life. But if they're prepared to listen, I feel like I can convince probably 99% of them.
Yep.
Just to have some Bitcoin, even if it was just me giving them some, right?
Yep.
Which isn't ideal, but it's a start, right?
Yep.
But if it's me and say a table of 6 people. I don't feel very confident about being able to convince anybody because if none of them, if not if you're there, but like if none of them are Bitcoiners, it's like one crazy man talking about the crazy thing,
yeah,
to everybody else who are all just sort of giggling and laughing.
Sorry, I'm just picturing like Hats's Last Supper, like the picture, you like there like Jesus. And then all the plebs, not the plebs, the normies all around.
Yeah. But you can't get away from the fact that you feel like
a crazy person.
No. But you feel like you're saving them. You feel like
100%.
Right, and I don't mean that in a Jesus complex way. I mean that in a like
entirely.
Your life is fucked if you don't listen to me now.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've said this before, but I've had the same thing where I'm talking to people and then I'm talking to them and they're glazing over, and I'm like, fuck, I'm framing it like I'm trying to sell them something and not save them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know you know that feeling, and so many people whoever's listening would know the same feeling. It's like you're trying to help them, you're trying to save them, but it so often comes across, or I can imagine it coming across as you're trying to sell them something because it pumps your bags.
Well, ultimately, it's like that salesman who says, "Don't worry, I'm not here to sell you anything." And then the first sentence is, "Don't worry, I'm not here to sell you anything," and the last sentence is, "So how much do you want to buy?"
Yeah,
because that is the ultimate end of the Bitcoin story, right? So how much do you want to buy? So you are selling them something. So maybe you should start with, "Listen, I'm here to sell you something."
I'm here to sell you something,
and I'm going to tell you why.
No, That's, that's not good.
But otherwise you just come across as a liar because you start with, I'm not trying to sell anything, and then you do.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so often when I have conversations, towards the end of it, I'm just like, okay, that's me done. If you want some, good. I will always say it doesn't affect me in any iota. You know what I mean? Whether you buy it or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing that, maybe Elon or Sailor or something, there's something these guys could say that might affect the price of Bitcoin. There's nothing we could say that's ever going to affect the price of Bitcoin.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're not pumping. Well, you're certainly not. If you are pumping your bags, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but there's a crossover between wanting to help people and also being so damn passionate you want to talk about it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
That's all we're really interested in now. So you want to talk about it, but do we really want to save people, or do we just want to talk about it?
Oh.
This is like coming back to your
there's no such thing as a good deed.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no altruistic good deed.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Let's not talk about that. It's really.
I know.
I have to smoke a joint talking about that.
Oh, we should do that. We did talk about that.
Yeah.
We should do a pod where we get stoned.
Yeah, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, let's do it, me though.
Because I've half considered, like, we live in a kind of smallish community, right? So I've half considered, like, hiring a little community hall or something and just doing do you want to know about Bitcoin?
Yep.
But then you're like, do I really want to be that guy? Like, because then 14 people turn up and 3 of them are XRP shells and or whatever, and somebody else doesn't have a phone.
But you know what? Like, well, this comes back to, I think, and again we've talked about this privately. A public library is a great spot to do things like that, right? So authors come along and say that I want to talk about my book.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to approach, and I'm not just saying to you, but anyone who's listening, public libraries anywhere, if you want to actually present something and not say, hey, I'd like to sell Bitcoin to people, but just say, I want to run an information session about what is Bitcoin and hell, what is cryptocurrency, and differentiate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because particularly, I don't think a lot of oldies, they don't get it, but their interest is peaked enough about it to actually go, okay, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and they would come along to some free session just to hear information.
100%.
But
I said it again. Fuck.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
The but so if you're a but how much I'm not suggesting I'm going to do it, but how much scrutiny does the local library put? Let's say MasterCard phoned up your library and says, "Oh, listen, we've got a new product. We'd like to sell it to the whole of the community. Can we come in and use your space?" And you just say no to that, right?
No, because that's a company. Yeah. So, like, if you want to use a space, you can use a space, as long as you're not actually selling a product. If you are, you have to pay for that space. MasterCard could literally go into a public library, hire a room and do what they want to do.
Got you. Okay. But anything so any sort of free public seminar type thing. But like so the person who's written a book and wants to talk about their book, surely they're selling the book.
Yes, but it's also in the interest of the library. So in our thing, we'll have people in to push reading. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's part of a general library programming.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, we've talked about this, and I actually honestly think you'd be really great for it. But for me, being a library employee, there's a bit of a you know what I mean?
Has anybody that's listening done anything like this? And if you have, can you let me know what your experience with doing it is? I mean, I don't want to create if there was a local Bitcoin meetup, I don't want to run it, and I don't want to be presenter at it. I would quite happily go along.
Yes.
As an attendee.
Yes.
But I don't want to be the person.
No, but I guess that's what's happening with meetups is that Bitcoiners are meeting Bitcoiners and turning up at the same spot. How many Bitcoiners are actually going out to like a library or some other place and just saying, hey, anyone who wants to talk about this, I'm happy to talk about it.
There's got to be a place for that in
Yes, a public library.
No, I don't mean the physical place. I
Oh.
mean, like, there has to be... I think there's a demand for that.
Yeah. People want to know what it is and they don't understand it.
They've got no idea, and we would have no idea where to start.
Yeah.
And like, you've already, if it's in a public or like a space like a public library, it's a non-threatening. I'm not going to go be
Neutral.
sold anything.
Entirely neutral.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I mean, I don't mean for me. I just mean it's for somebody.
All right, we'll do it next week.
No, I don't know.
All right, I'm bussing for a piss. Oh, you must have a bladder of steel.
Must do. Let's keep going then.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm going to pause.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great,
So, hi.
great piss.
Yeah. You're gonna get like what they call the piss doctor, urologist. You're gonna get urologist fans.
I've seen a few of them
Oh, have you?
in my time, yeah.
Like sexually or
Yeah.
or professionally
No,
or
no.
both.
I've had in my 20s. I had a couple of operations. Do you want me to go into it?
Not really, but you're gonna
Okay. I had a varicocele repair.
in your 20s.
In 21, 22.
Yeah.
I had a hydrocele repair.
Okay.
And then I had a vasectomy. That's 3 urologists
All right.
in my lifetime.
How were they?
None of them went well.
I once went to. I can't believe you made me say this.
Please. I'm
So I
not
once
making you say anything.
No, I know, but I'm going to say it because you've said it, so I have to say it.
Hey,
So annoying.
I'm an oversharer.
I know. Your Ethereum hat.
Yeah.
It's not an Ethereum hat. It
Volcom.
just looks like a Ethereum
Volcom.
hat. I once went to a STD clinic.
Please go on.
I know. It was a while ago. But I shared a flat at one point.
Shared what?
I shared a flat, a house, an apartment with these 3 girls. Nothing to do with any of them. But their conversations when I don't know if you ever spent a lot of time with like loads of women.
I try to. Yes.
Yeah, you know, but like you're like the only lone dude.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable. Well, no, it's not uncomfortable. It's just like their conversations are so different.
Yes.
And they were having,
I lived with a couple of chicks.
but just 2 girls.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And
It was wild.
and they don't say that.
Yeah, that's right.
But they were having this conversation about STDs, and I was just listening. And then they're going, they were talking about how many times they've all been checked. I was like, what, why, what? And they're like, oh, well, have you not been? I said, no, there's nothing wrong with me. And they just worried me into thinking there might have been.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm thinking, what, has everybody been except me? And then, so I was like, oh, well, fair enough. I better go too. But how ridiculous is that? That's just peer pressure, right?
Yeah.
I got peer pressured into the STD clinic. What a loser. And I went, and then the worst thing happened. You know that bit where you go and see the doctor and the doctor says...
And there's a bit of cheese on the end of your dick.
No, worse. Right? The doctor's a dude, I think. An older guy.
Oh, that's not fun.
No, but then he did the whole, listen, we've got students in today.
Oh.
Do you? I know it's a thing, and you know, but people have to learn. Do you mind?
And you said, "Oh, how hot are they?"
No, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh no, I don't mind. Thinking to myself, of course I should mind, you moron. Anyway, and she came. I was like, of course she's like 90. I'm like, oh my god. And I'm having to explain why I'm there, and I didn't even know why I was there. Right? I'm going, I don't know. I've just been bullied into coming. And so the guy's like, you're probably fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Why am I talking about this? Anyway, long story short, I was totally fine. So thanks to
Except
Alison,
for that,
Diane, and Karen. I'll dogs you 3. Anyway, where are we talking?
Oh, I
What's
don't
Bitcoin
know.
got to do with that? Does Bitcoin fix that?
Yeah, sure. What do you got?
Should Bitcoin is the name Bitcoin Exchange wrong?
Explain.
Well, do we want? So yeah, I mean, we are if you're exchanging fiat for Bitcoin, the word exchange is pretty good.
Rather than stock exchange, where you're exchanging stocks, multiple different stocks.
Yes, yeah, but it implies that you're going to be exchanging back again.
Oh, that's a good question.
Should it just be called a Bitcoin shop?
Yeah, it sounds dodgy. Yeah.
It does, but like, do we want people to be? I mean, I know it has to be called an exchange, but I'm just saying,
Oh.
the word, I don't know. Like, 'cause I don't think you can go backwards on swan. I think there's a one-way shop.
Shop, yeah, maybe not
One-way
shop.
street.
Bitcoin store. That probably
Bitcoin
exists
store.
already, doesn't it? The Bitcoin store. Bitcoin only store.
Was that not Crispy?
It is Crispy.
Yeah, go ahead, Crispy.
Bitcoin only store.
Yeah, go shop at Bitcoin only. No, store. What is it?
It's bitcoinonly.store or Bitcoin. Oh, I'm sorry, Crispy. I've got no idea.
BI_T_BI_Crispy. Go click on the Twitter handle and go to the shop and buy a hat. Hi, Crispy.
Bitcoinonly.store. I feel like that's what it is.
But anyway, maybe it should be. Maybe they should be called shops or stores rather than exchanges. I mean, I know where. I mean, frankly, if you can get somebody onto a Bitcoin only,
I've got one.
You've done pretty well.
BTC Market. No, wait. They do shitcoins.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
thing.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was like, oh no,
I'm kidding.
Have you not heard? Yeah. What was the thing I sent you when I screen
one
grab
thing
before?
you've sent me.
You know, the screen grab I sent you probably just before we came here. Oh, only sats. I looked up.
Oh yeah, you and your fucking domains.
I looked up only sats because I was like, oh, I just had this only sats. We actually talk about only. I've never even been on OnlyFans. I don't really know what it is, other than what people have told me. But yeah, only sats. It's not available, unfortunately. The only other one you could have. I don't know what we're talking about this week. People hopefully have gone home by now. But quack stack. I think I'm drinking too much.
What? Quack stack?
Because if you had, I was trying to work out if you didn't have. I think this is my thought process. If it wasn't called the Bitcoin exchange and it was just called the Bitcoin store, well, what could you call it other than the Bitcoin store? So it was like, is that you? Was that your phone?
No, it's your phone, dude.
Oh, right, okay. And I was like, well, what could you call it? And like, remember we had that hodl waddle.
Hodl. Did we get rid of that?
Yeah, we lost it, right?
Damn it.
And you could have like, it could be called the quack stack, and then you could have, what was it? It doesn't matter.
You're fucking losing it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We should have ended it when I had to piss.
Yeah, well, most people did. Nobody came back, did they? Somebody needs to have a good domain there's something there, I think. Maybe I'm just
like a Bitcoin exchange.
Like a store.
Bitcoin store, no. Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Oh, whatever.
Don't know.
All right, we're up to an hour.
Do we have a tweet of the week? Was that your tweet of the week from before?
No, I've actually got one, unless you've got one.
Well, the only other thing I wanted to talk about, it's not a good thing, but it's a big thing, but I hadn't seen it before, was that, is it called the line? That, you know that thing from earlier that I showed you today?
Yes.
Where that, in Saudi,
Saudi thing, yeah.
Planning on building a big long line.
Fucking terrifying.
It is terrifying, right? It's like the Matrix with
a
marketing campaign.
Yeah, but I saw that, and it's just like, or explain it.
We go on, and I'll just dig out the tweet because I want to give this.
The only thing I thought about this video, right, is that the way it's framed and the way it's kind of sold, it looks like a bit of a sci-fi nerd's wet dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a big long wall.
Yeah.
That's like I don't know how wide this is, but like 170 odd kilometers long
and 500 meters high.
It's like the size of the Empire State Building, something like that. Or, and multiple level living wherever it's just so that there can be less impactful, I guess, on the planet.
Rubbish.
And well, I know, but and like no cars, everybody living on levels, and like it's just wild.
But it also said something about carbon neutral. I'm like, fuck off. There's no way you're building that carbon neutral.
Well, yeah, true.
Bullshit.
But it's just like, but it just shows you that with a good bit of, like a good video, and a good voiceover, and some good image or whatever, and some good buzzwords that you could fool people with. People go, oh my god, I could live in that utopia. It just looks like this movies.
Yeah.
Right? And I could imagine a lot of people, like it's from Ian, this is from, it was just the other day, Ian Miles Cheong, still grey. But it's, what is this dystopian hellline city? I'm just like, oh my god, it frightens the shit out of me. But people are looking like, that's not a scary video, that's done as a promotional video.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll link it below if anybody wants to have a look.
It won't eventuate.
Well, I then read a newspaper article to say that some of the build has commenced. But I don't know. I'm sure Donald said some of the wall had commenced as well.
Exactly. The world will end before that fucking happens, I think.
Frightening. I'm going to anyway, it's just a frightening tweet of the week. But what's yours?
Oh, that's your tweet of the week.
Well, no, it's not positive.
Sorry.
It's just the scary as shit of the week. I don't know what you want to call that.
Okay, my one is this. So it's, I guess, referencing a fucking NFT rubbish tweet from, like a year ago, actually. Okay, so someone says, you would have seen this, if you make an NFT of a real diamond and the diamond itself gets destroyed in a fire tomorrow, you still have the same asset because the token still exists and is in limited supply just as before. Nothing has changed. What NFT is doing to the concept of assets, few understand. And so this guy's retweeted Dr. Parik Patel, which I think I've seen him a bit actually. I have. And so his reply was, if you murder someone, they're still alive as long as you have their birth certificate.
Yeah. I
mean, perfect.
But I love the part at the bottom, like few understand, like the few understand. Is that what it says? Few understand this or something at the end?
Few understand, yeah.
It's like like you, like the person who's tweeting, like few understand what they're talking about. Like, it's funny that.
But well, that's another conversation. Like, how many of the Bitcoin kind of memes, like few and bloody hodl and to the moon, all that kind of stuff, they get co-opted and taken over, and then to the point that Bitcoiners go, ugh, we don't use that anymore. To the moon. What Bitcoin maxi says to the moon anymore? No one.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the beauty of competition, because not that I'm saying altcoins are competition to Bitcoin, they aren't, but when you are not afraid of competition, it forces you to constantly evolve and improve, and so you always will have the first idea because you're looking for it, right? Now, not necessarily might not be the best idea, but you'll keep producing ideas. Like, the meme guys will keep producing memes, and they'll keep being co-opted, but it doesn't matter because they're old, and they've been they'll get replaced by something else, like whatever, Forever Laura or whatever it is that becomes the new thing. All your models are destroyed. Yeah, I'm sure there's some shit going out there using all your models are destroyed, right? But it doesn't matter because there's going to be something else that comes around the corner. Oh, stack chain. There's the latest.
Oh, that's all.
That's what you wanted to talk about. Yeah.
So I actually messaged you Hats today saying, what the fuck is this? What have I missed? What's this stack chain shit? It sounds dodgy, but then I'm seeing all these like
people
Bitcoiners that I trust. Going,
I'm in a stack chain.
Stack chain. I'm like, this sounds fucked. What is it?
So
I think it's literally what.
So I think it was Arizona and Hodl.
Yep.
Bought $5 worth of Bitcoin, and then said his MD got 6 or something. I didn't see the original tweet.
Yeah.
I think it was Arizona. And then so somebody bought 6, and then somebody bought 7, and it just went. I saw it at 100 and Brisket tagged me at 100 and something, 50 something, I think. Like to say, come on, like where's yours?
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. Only because I couldn't when I was doing it, and then when I went back to look, I had no idea how to find the end.
Yeah.
I think you can now find the end with the stack chain tip, but then I still don't know how to, because you get so much. If you do search by hashtags, you just get so much garbage as well.
Yeah.
But it is cool, and they're just the plebs just buying Bitcoin, just stack it. It's great because it's the people that are doing that are the people who are just going, I don't care if I buy the top, the middle, or the bottom. I'm going to be buying anyway. So okay, I might be down or up or whatever, but they don't really care. It's good. They realize that whatever they buy is going to be the same amount of Bitcoin down the line. So it's just the next thing, and it'll pass. Give it a week. Everybody forgot about stack chain and
675 is what I've seen. I don't know if that's US or Australian.
Oh yeah, because there was that as well, because some people were stacking. Well, I think it was Arizona, so it started in dollars, US dollars, and then I think it moved between multiple. But anyway, and then there's now I think there's a whole group set up to bring forks back in, and crazy. But fair play to them. But It's just, I don't know. You can't stop ideas.
No.
It's funny to watch governments try.
No. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Funny's not maybe not the greatest word, but it's It's funny to think that they think that they can.
All right. What else you got?
Nothing. I'm done.
All right. Good chat, Hats.
I apologise for the waddle and duck and the stack. All that was nonsense.
What?
When I was talking about a duck and a quack. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what I was on about there, but I don't know. I still feel like I need to go think about that one a bit more.
This is the difference between you and me.
You don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit.
You're just gonna go home.
I'm gonna go home and go to sleep.
And I'm gonna sit on the sofa in the dark and be concerned myself with why I got that duck thing so wrong.
Okay, well here you go. Let's get a bit philosophical. Like
duck
why?
There you go. There's
No. Why are you worried about that? Are you worried about what people think, or are you worried about your own, ineptitude?
I don't know. We had this. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
We're getting very deep lately, off record. Off the pod.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're no breed love.
No, fuck no.
But or Valis or something. Yeah, anyway. But what was the question? Why?
Why do you think? Why am I going to bed and going to sleep happy, and you're like, fucking, what have I done?
I don't know. It's just something in our personalities, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm an idiot. I'm the true idiot. You're the fucking
maybe I'm the one that's losing sleep and I'm the idiot.
Clearly,
right? So I'm the idiot.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Two pennies, folk. Tune in next week.
All right, see ya.